World War I. The war to end all wars finally came to an end on November 11, 1918. But how exactly did it end? Who were the winners? Who were the losers? And what was the true cost of this devastating conflict? Join us as we dive into the final chapter of World War I and its profound aftermath. The final days of War B 1918, after 4 grueling years, the Central Powers were on the brink of collapse. Germany faced relentless advances by Allied forces, spearheaded by fresh American troops who tipped the balance of power. Exhausted and outnumbered, German defenses crumbled. Meanwhile, internal unrest gripped Germany. Soldiers mutinied, workers protested, and the Kaiser abdicated, leaving the nation leaderless. On November 11, 1918, in a railway carriage in Compiègne, France, Germany signed an armistice with the Allies, bringing the fighting to an end. The Great War was over, but its consequences were just beginning. The winners and the losers, the Allies emerged victorious. France, Britain, and the United States celebrated their hard-fought win. However, the cost of victory was staggering, both in lives lost and economies shattered. The Central Powers, Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria, were defeated. Their empires dissolved, reshaping Europe and the Middle East. Austria-Hungary splintered into smaller nations, while the Ottoman Empire lost control of much of its territory, giving rise to new countries in the Middle East. The human and economic cost, of World War I was unprecedented. Over 16 million people lost their lives. Both soldiers and civilians, and millions more were wounded or displaced. Entire towns and cities were reduced to rubble, particularly in France and Belgium. Economically, the war drained treasuries and left nations deeply in debt. Germany was hit hardest, with its economy shattered by blockades and the immense costs of war. The scars of this devastation would take decades to heal, and for some, they never truly would. The Treaty of Versailles and its impact. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended the war, but it sowed the seeds of future conflict. Germany was forced to accept full responsibility for the war, pay enormous reparations, and relinquish significant territory. The treaty also created the League of Nations, an attempt to maintain peace that ultimately failed. For Germany, the terms of the treaty felt humiliating, fueling resentment that would later contribute to the rise of Adolf Hitler and World War II. The treaty marked the end of the war, but it left a legacy of bitterness and unresolved tensions. The legacy of World War I. The end of World War I reshaped the modern world. Advances in military technology, such as tanks, machine guns, and chemical weapons, forever changed warfare. The psychological toll of the war left countless soldiers grappling with shell shock, a precursor to what we now know as PTSD. Politically, the war redrew borders and set the stage for new conflicts. It also signaled the rise of the United States as a global power and the beginning of Europe's decline as the world's center of influence. The Great War was over, but its impact reverberated across the decades, shaping the 20th century in profound ways. World War I ended not just with the signing of treaties, but with the redrawing of the global order. It left behind destruction, loss, and a fragile peace that would crumble just 2 decades later. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into Historyscope.